You're listening to the Midlife Plot Twist podcast, and this is episode 6. Hi, and welcome to episode 6. It's a new week and a new episode. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks for listening. This week, I'm expecting to receive a decision on my graduate school application. I'm very nervous and very excited. Months ago, when I started to question my ability and desire to return to my position at the university, I was considering what else I could do other than be a professor. The first thing that came to mind was that I would love to pursue a coaching practice full-time. Back in 2023, I became certified as a trauma-informed coach. Initially, I did this because I thought that the skills I learned in that training would help me with my research. But as I got to know this practice better, I learned that I really love coaching. I love exploring and supporting dreams that individuals have but are afraid to go after or feel blocked in their lives in some way. When, I'm so scared to say when I leave my position. When I leave my position with the university, coaching is one thing that I will fall back on, and happily so. That said, as I pictured that path forward, a little voice in me, that quiet, gentle voice of intuition, told me to explore my dreams further. I have wanted to be a therapist since I was a teenager. So, in this time of transition, I decided to roll the dice, and months ago I applied to a part-time Master's of Social Work program so that I could develop a private practice as a psychotherapist following the completion of my degree. In today's episode, I want to create some space to talk about our enduring dream or dreams. The one or ones that keep popping up in our minds over time. The ones that if someone were to ask you, if you were able to do anything at all, what would you choose? And you would answer this thing. I'm a big believer in dreams. I think they point us to our North Star, our purpose, our life's inspiration, and I'd love to talk about them with you now. I've always been a dreamer, so this isn't new. When I was a small child, I wanted to be a writer. And when my dad learned of this, he bought me a diary so that I could start writing. I remember he told me I could write stories and dreams and about my feelings in there. And I loved writing in that diary. I still have it today. At some point years ago, I erased quite a few of the pages in that diary, unfortunately, because I felt embarrassed of what I wrote, but enough remains of my little 8-year-old writing to know what kind of person I was and about this dream of being a writer. Later on in middle school, I wanted to be a psychologist. I learned that they help people, and I soon became known in my grade as the nice girl who listens. And later in grade 8, I became known as the school psychologist. That's embarrassing to say. But I do say it because I think many of us form dreams when we're young that stick with us in some way or another throughout our lives. And while one person might tell you to grow up and stop dreaming about such things, or that your dreams are unrealistic, or that you won't make enough money or whatever, Jen over here is all for them. If you do decide to write to me, as I encourage you to do at the end of every episode, please write to me about what makes you light up or what used to make you light up. Is it singing or painting, cooking? I find that it's often creative talents that are minimized and sent to the dustbin of adulthood. What is it that you feel passionate about? Let's examine these dreams seriously and start to bring them into our lives. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Jen, I dreamt of being a figure skater and now I'm in my 40s. I never learned how to skate and my knees are bad, so how can I bring my dream into my life again? And I know it seems tricky, doesn't it? But it's not. What is really important about these dreams is that we revisit them in midlife, because we've gone through the first half of life learning about, what we should do and what we might like to do in the context of what we should do. I feel like midlife is our time to do what we want to do. And we don't want to spend the rest of our life doing what we think we should. So let's revisit those older dreams that we had or developed in our younger years. We revisit them and look at them in their essence if we can't do the actual thing. What is the essence of that dream of being a figure skater, an Olympic athlete, a movie star, a lawyer, a doctor? Is it a desire to help people, to perform, to lead? In what other areas of your life or in what other activities or professions could you explore that essence? Back to my writer-psychologist dreams. These stuck with me until my 20s when I put myself in university as a mature student, and two things happened. I started taking psychology degree, and when I found out that I would not be a psychologist at the end of my bachelor's degree, I switched promptly over to sociology, which I had a developing love for anyway. And about writing, I learned how to write academically through my undergraduate training, which sucked the life out of any other type of writing I would do from 2006 until about 2023, when I decided to finally start writing creatively and for myself again. In other words, my dreams were sidelined. But there were still elements of that dream in academia for me. So I had wanted to write the next best inspirational book that would be on Oprah's book club. I wanted to inspire people and, help them people who were living with shame. I wanted to help lift them up and feel seen. I wanted to let them know that there's someone else out there who could identify with their struggles. By the time I got to my undergrad, I learned about what an academic did and thought to myself that I could have my dream of being published and of inspiring and helping people through teaching students. It seemed like academia was my realistic path, and so I started on that path. Somewhere along the line, though, it was probably somewhere during my PhD, I started realizing, like little bit by little bit, that I wasn't doing the kind of writing that I wanted to do, really. When I started teaching, I wonder if my microphone picked up my phone ping there. I should have turned it off. Turning it off now. Okay, so where was I? I was not doing the kind of writing I wanted to do, I think is what I was just saying. So when I started teaching, I realized that it was naive of me to think that I would inspire and help shape the young minds of students. Maybe a handful of them here and there, but for the most part, our post-secondary education system is set up to preoccupy students with their grades first and foremost, and graduating second. You can refer back to my first episode where I mentioned that most of my ideas about post-secondary education were romantic fantasies. So anyways, what am I saying here? Am I saying that I should try to live out the essence of my dreams or not? Because it seems that the essence of my dreams was not enough for me through becoming a professor. I'm saying that sometimes you can go after the essence and sometimes you can go after the actual dream. I tried out the essence and now I'm going to go after the original dreams of being a writer and a therapist. I won't become a psychologist, but I have become a trauma-informed coach, and hopefully soon I will find out that I've been accepted into that social work program that I applied to become a registered psychotherapist with a private practice when I'm done. Maybe my bottom line is that you should follow your dreams and see where it leads you. It wasn't wrong of me to pursue becoming a professor. I've gained a tremendous amount of self-knowledge and skills through this career. In fact, I would likely not have been willing or able to bring myself to this point where I'm going to become an entrepreneur of sorts with my own coaching and therapy practices, were it not for the years that I spent working for myself, making my own hours, creating, implementing, and managing my own projects, hiring assistants, and working without a boss in academia. I think if you talk to employment specialists or coaches, they would tell you that these are areas of transferable skills. So, in addition to what dreams did you have that fell by the wayside, I ask you, what transferable skills do you have thanks to the position you're in now that have set you up for more likely success at what you really want to be doing? I'll bet you'll find that you've been preparing yourself for your dreams for some time without even knowing it. I think the last thing that I want to talk about is self-worth. It takes a lot of self-worth to take risks and go after things that we want because we have to believe we're worth attaining them. We have to believe that we have something to offer, something to say. And I'm wondering how you're doing with your sense of self-worth these days. Do you feel that you have to constantly prove yourself at work and at home, to friends and to colleagues? Do you feel that you wouldn't be good enough to do the thing that you want to do anyway? If you answered yes to these things, then it's time to do some work on self-worth. This is something that my therapist and I have been working on for quite some time. Well, actually, I've been working on this for years, from self-help books to therapy to having readings done with empathetic and kind psychics. I've been trying to understand what is my worth for years. And you know what I learned? I'm just worthy. I'm worthy of love and time and attention, of being heard, and of having a meaningful and fulfilling career just because I'm me. And so are you. You're worthy of everything you need and want too. We don't have to prove or fight or push for our worth. If we do, we're not in the right place, the right time, or with the right person. Being in midlife has helped me to get to this perspective. So I want to end this episode on that note, that you're worthy. What product is it again that says to women, like, you're worth it? I don't remember. Maybe it's like Clairol or something. Anyways, that's old, an old reference. You are worth it. You're worth living out a dream that has people recognize you for who you are. And me too. I will keep you posted on the results of my application. Please keep your fingers crossed for me that I'm accepted. Hopefully next week I'll be publishing a new episode that says I got in. So please write to me at Midlife Plot Twist Podcast at gmail.com, or head over to Midlife Plot Twist Podcast on Instagram and comment on my posts about this episode. I'd love to hear from you and all about your dreams. You can feel free to use me as a sounding board for whatever your heart desires in this dreamscape. I look forward to hearing from you. And until next week, be well.